Good morning, YouTubers. This morning we are going to be working on the oil pressure sender and the screen underneath of it on this 2006 Impala SS that I recently picked up. My little front end refresh there with some blacked out headlights, blacked out grille, all de-chromed. Anyway, that's getting beside the point. A couple of new experiments here. For one is going to be lighting is being provided by this underhood light that I picked up from Harbor Freight. I'm not sure if it's going to be flickery on screen for you as well. If it is, I apologize and I will not use this again, but it does light things up quite nicely. So what we're going to be replacing here is the actual oil pressure sender itself, along with the screen. This is the Dorman part number of the screen. You can get them from all sorts of different vendors, but this is the one we're going to be installing today. They're relatively cheap. You can get them on Amazon for under $10 Canadian. 100% should replace this screen if you ever even suspect that it's clogged up. It's really hard to tell. Even if you just take the sender out and you look down the hole of the screen, it may look like it's clear, but this area here is where it will actually clog up. So if you simply look down the hole, you may not notice anything. All you really need to complete this is a 1 1/16 socket, an extension, and a ratchet. I've moved the light down a little bit closer so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Right there is the actual sender itself for the oil pressure. Very easy to get off on these ones. Not as easy to get to on a truck, but on the cars they're a lot more exposed. All you need to do is get your hand down under there, very, very gently pull back on the clip. So here it is pulled out. If you need to move the clip back more than about 1/8 of an inch, it's probably going to end up breaking on you. If it does, guess what? You're going to be replacing it, just like I did here. These clips are available all over the place. Comes with a little pigtail on it. One interesting thing about this one that I picked up from Canadian Tire, whatever, it was the only place I could find it in stock. You'll notice that the wires actually don't line up in color. This has a blue wire on the connector that they supply, which attaches to the tan wire of the factory harness. And the interesting thing is the black and the gray wires attached onto the gray and the black wires. So the leads are actually reversed in color. I verified it, and that's what they are. These are the ground and the 5-volt supply from the ECM wires. And yeah, they've flipped them around. Now that's only on this one particular brand. Yours may or may not be the same. So just get that clip out of the way. Very easy if you've got 2 hands available. Trying to do this with one hand and holding onto the camera with the other does make it a little bit more challenging. But get the ratchet down in there. I'm sure you don't need to see all of this. After you've got the thing unthreaded, again, this is easier with 2 hands when you're not holding a camera. After you've finished unthreading it a few turns, it's just a matter of reaching down, taking out the original sender. Here's a close-up view looking straight down the threaded hole. You can see the black area, which is the original factory filter installed on there. So now the fun part, trying to get that out. So there's various methods you can use to get one of the screens out of the engine. This is obviously the new one, so we're not going to damage this one or try to kill it. But one thing I've read online is that a guy tried just simply threading a 5/16, which is like an 8mm bolt, down into it, grabbed onto it with a pair of vice grips, and pulled her out. So we're going to give that a shot. Now the only thing here is there's no way I'm going to be able to actually thread that in there and get it out while filming this, so I'm just going to have to show you the after effect. Oh, what do you know, in the immortal words of AVE, das works! So it turns out there was nothing even wrong with my screen, but we're going to replace it anyway. So this is actually just a head bolt, or intake manifold bolt rather, from a Fiero. You can use anything, but yeah, that's an 8x1.25 bolt. I just basically pushed it down into the hole a little bit. As soon as you start turning it, the screen starts to turn. So I just gave it an extra little shove, and it locked down into the top of the filter. Just simply went blink, yoinked her out, and out she came. So there is the new one pushed into place. As a custom insertion tool, I actually just used the bolt with the old screen, pushed it over top of it, gave it a little push downward, and you could just hear it click into place. So now all we've got to do is grab the new sending unit and get her put into place. As with anything threaded, always make sure you start it by hand. Nothing more than the fingertip pressure. Give it a little spinny spin, get it down into the hole. After you've started it, you can put your socket and your extension back on, spin the new sender back down into the hole, just using some hand pressure like that. After you've got her all basically run back down in, just finger tight like that, you can put your ratchet back on it. Now remember that this isn't one of the old NPT threads. This is actually a straight thread. It has a gasket underneath of it. So really all you're looking at doing is tightening it up, turning it maybe, well, you kind of give it a bit of a feel, but I would say probably no more than a half a turn, or you know, somewhere in around the 30 pounds tops region. Remember that you're driving a steel fastener into an aluminum part of your engine. So if you over tighten that thing, you're going to be in a whole world of hurt when you have to go and take your engine apart to replace the portion of your engine that you just snapped off because you got a little too zealous. So after you've got her snug down in place, just a matter of getting in there, replacing the connector back onto the sender, and she's back in place. If you remove the engine cover or anything, remember to put it back in its happy little spot. You won't go and dent the hood or something when you close it. Fire your engine up, get down in there with a light, check for leaks, and you should be golden. Hopefully this helps somebody out.